Welcome back to Dynamics. Okay, so this is the review of The Last of Us Episode 3. Again, this will have some spoilers in it, so keep that in mind if you haven't watched the episode yet. And so, up until this point, universal praise for The Last of Us. Everything is as everybody's saying it's a great show, great acting, doing a good job. Some people say there's some controversy with this third episode. I'm not one of those people. I thought it was beautifully done. But let me kind of give you a brief explanation of what some of the controversy is. Some of the controversy is obviously typical stuff, but some of the controversy is it's an extra episode that's not really needed. It's just bloat, just a filler episode is what people are calling it. In the video game world, this is called a side quest. this is a this is part of the side story. It's a side quest. It's not your main story. This is a it's definitely it builds on the world. It's world building. It adds to the lore, but it's not Joel taking Ellie to wherever he needs to take her and their story together. Although they do come into the episode, and I'll explain that. But it's a side story type episode. Um, the other bit of controversy is it's focused around two gay men, which is something that I sometimes will agree with. If it feels forced, um, God, this does not feel forced. I mean, there are gay people in the world. Um, these characters, you know, they are genuinely gay. It's not, a thing that's. I don't feel like it's something that's there. It just feels like just part of who they are instead of who they are, if that makes sense. Anyways, they do a great job of acting it. It's Nick Offerman and Moray Bartlett play Bill and Frank. Bill is a survivalist. He has found a way to survive in this post-apocalyptic world better than most people. He has found himself a home. He's built fortifications. He has animals and farm like a small farm, and he's self-sufficient. He actually has power because he has his own generator and solar. He's able to do all this himself. He's able to cook. He's a great cook. He makes good food. They make a point of showing that. He's not just surviving on beans. He's having beautifully cooked meals, and he's just a loner who is surviving. Well, one of his fortifications is this, pit or hole in the ground, and he has sensors, and he notices his sensors go off. Someone has fallen into one of his holes. Well, that happens to be Frank. And after some initial, standoffishness and some, figuring each other out, um, Bill offers, or Frank really kind of asks for the meal and convinces Bill that it's okay. And so Bill's like, okay, I will do that. I will give you a meal, get you cleaned up, and then you can get on out of here. Um, well, during the course of the meal, they start bonding a little bit, and eventually it becomes clear to each other that they are both gay. They are not straight, and they want to spend time with each other because they neither of them have had company in a while, as it were. Another interesting aspect of it that they make it clear is Bill is not experienced with this, but he definitely is this, and Frank guides him through it, as it were. Without being graphic, it's not graphic, it's not raunchy, it's beautifully done. And their relationship throughout the course of the episode, it goes through multiple years, covering multiple years of their life, and dang, it's a beautiful relationship. It doesn't matter that they are a gay couple versus a straight couple. You get the emotions, you get the beauty of their love. They fall in love with each other. They are each other's partners, life partners, and they love each other, and it's beautiful. So we move through. Turns out that Frank is not completely satisfied with this survivalist, isolationist lifestyle. He would like to try to have friends in this post-apocalyptic world, and he reaches out to people on the radios that they have, and he finds Tess and Joel. And so this is Tess and Joel before the series, before they meet Ellie, of course. Um, and I was a little concerned. I was like, oh, this is when they weren't the best people. Are they going to kill them? But that's not what ends up happening. They actually end up helping them. They help them with their fortifications, um, and they do end up being their friends, and can connect with each other. But Joel basically tells Bill, he's like, I get that you have a good situation here, but eventually someone's going to find it, and they're going to try to take it from you. Um, People are not good, and you need more. And so convinces him to have more fortifications. And then one night, um, those fortifications are tested. Frank wakes up. Bill is gone, and Bill's out there shooting at the people who are trying to invade. His fortifications are catching them on fire. It seriously like sets off this like flamethrower that's really cool, trying to like take out the attackers. And he's shooting at them, and he gets shot. Um, Frank drags him back into the house, but the fortifications and the gunfire have chased off the attackers. So most of them are dead, but the ones that aren't dead, I think, leave. Um, and Frank is able to take Bill in, and you think Bill's going to pass away. He's shot in the stomach, and he's telling Frank to reach out to Joel, that Joel will take care of him, which is really kind of sweet. Um, and uh, and then it fades to black, and then it jumps forward, and so Bill survived. Somehow they don't really go into a lot of details about that, so you just kind of got to go with it. Um, but he survives. They survive into older age. I think maybe 5 years down the road, something, quite a bit down the road. They've got grayer hair. And But I know not that much time has happened between the apocalypse and where we are in current timelines. But it's definitely current day, and I'll get to that in a minute. So basically, you know, turns out Bill survived, but now it's Frank who is dying. He has cancer. I believe it's cancer. They don't actually. I don't think they ever specifically say it's cancer, but I think it's you know pretty obvious that it's cancer. He's dying, and he tells Bill, he's like, I've made it as far as I can make it. We've had a great life together, but today's my last day, and I want to make sure that we take care of it, and that we don't just let it happen. So basically, he wants to take his own life. So they have a last day together, a beautiful day. They go to their shop, they get dressed up, they have a beautiful meal. They actually marry each other, through, they just kind of say their own vows to each other, because I guess they hadn't done that up to that point. They put rings on each other, and they're all dressed up, and they have a little ceremony. And so he wants to pass. So he wants to be husband and husband before they pass away, and so that's what they do. They get married. They have their meal, and then they go. Bill gets the drugs that they're going to use to so that he can take his life. Um, Pours it into his wine, gives it to him. He drinks it down, and then Bill drinks his wine, and Frank realizes that there was already something in the wine, and so they're both taking their own life. They want this to be their last day, and they're both taking their own life. Bill does not want to live without Frank, and it's sad. It is really, really sad. So if you get the chance to watch it, um, don't be surprised if you might let a little moisture in your eye, a little moisture in your eye. It's a sad moment. They lay down together, and they pass away. Um, you know, And then it cuts to, I think it's probably a few days later. It's not that long. And Joel and Ellie show up. And he shows up, thinking they can get some supplies and they can kind of rest up a little bit on their journey. And he finds that they've passed, um, and that Bill has left a note for him because he knew he would be coming eventually. And he told him how to get all the supplies. And there's guns and there's all these different supplies, but the biggest supply is a truck, a truck with a working battery. So now Joel and Ellie have a working vehicle so they can continue on their journey. They have additional supplies and they drive off into the sunset. And it was a beautiful episode that does advance the story, but it is mostly a side quest, side story. But it is beautifully done. Don't let the people get to you that are like, hey, they're trying to shove this stuff down our throat. I'll be one of the people that'll say it if it's just like, if the whole purpose of the character is that they're gay, I'll be right with you. I think that we should have gay characters in movies. We should have gay characters in TV shows, but they shouldn't be characters because they're gay. They should be characters who happen to also be gay. It's just, I'm not a character because I'm a heterosexual man. I'm just a character who is a heterosexual man. And so if you can do that, if you can find that fine line, which I think this episode really does, then then you've hit that sweet spot. That's my take on it. You could disagree. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode if you've already watched it. I really did, and I'm looking forward to more episodes like that. I haven't gotten to episode 7 yet because it hasn't been released, but I think episode 7 is a similar side quest type episode. Anyways, all right, everybody, take care. Have a good day.